We've arrived here today in the Snowdonia National Park. We're starting our 4th annual walking course for people with McArdles. So this week, each day we're going to be going out for a walk, and each day we'll have some tutorials about things that can help with our McArdles. And we'll plan a route that is suitable to bring people on, to build their confidence, to teach them the techniques of how to deal with their McArdles, and particularly how to walk out in the countryside with their McArdles, so that at the end of the week they'll be able to do things that they really didn't imagine they would at the beginning. Route planning is something that's important to everybody really, but particularly so for McArdles people. The biggest thing of all is that we need to start in a place where we can safely get into our second wind, which takes about 8 minutes. So ideally what we want to look for is a route that we can start on the flat. This is the Nant Franklin Valley, and basically we're going to be walking downhill down the valley. And Sally will be leapfrogging us in the car, so there'll be opportunities to get in the car if anybody wanted. So we've got lots of opportunity for opting out all the way down the road, then to big decision points and the end. Because we're trying to accommodate people of all abilities, it's really important that people can drop out of a walk at the point that they feel as though they've achieved what they want, and that we don't overtax people. Has everybody got water, hats, sunblock, fit to go?
Yep.
Even throughout the walk, there are so many factors that can affect us. The steepness of the terrain, the roughness of the track underfoot, or different surfaces like loose sand or mud, or soft ground or long grass. That's where McArdles people can run into trouble. Get on these pebbles, they really move underneath your feet, don't they? And slightly feeling unstable sort of thing with the moving pebbles beneath you. So it's worth slowing down and just taking it steady, heading back onto the hard sand again. We might just be in balance using the amount of energy that our blood supply is giving the muscles, but just something that adds another 5%, like the soft ground, suddenly means that we're going over the top and running out. Once we're in second wind, we need to ensure that we're not using energy quicker than our metabolism is delivering it in our blood supply. And anything that impacts on that, we've got to adjust for. So for instance, in long grass, you're dragging your foot through the grass, there is some resistance. If you turn a corner and suddenly you're into a headwind, that's going to impact on the amount of energy you need to use. So you have to slow down in order to keep the balance between energy used and energy supplied to the muscle.
I really like to be active. I like challenges, and when I walk with other people with McArdles, then I know that they understand when I'm slow and I understand when they're slow, and we get to sometimes the same point of being in second wind, and that's sort of exciting because you sort of feel normal. And I think a lot of us have the experience of feeling not normal when we're kind of growing up with our friends doing active things. We're left behind. And when we're walking with other people with McArdles, it's very exciting because times can be tough sometimes. There can be a challenging walk, a challenging hill, but we can do it together. And it feels very, instead of feeling like a failure, you feel like you've really conquered something in a way that, you feel like all your friends were able to do when you're growing up.
Thank you. Okay, so guys, I'll see you in the bottom.
One of the examples I was saying about rest before risk, you know, we've not been going fast there, but you might feel as if your muscles are a little bit lacking in energy. So it's worth holding on a bit before you go over. Not that it's difficult, but if you misstep and have to sort of catch yourself and suddenly put a lot of strain on a muscle, maybe you could get a contracture, so it's better to rest up first. If you remember the phrase 30 for 80, is 30 seconds for 80% of your ATP reservoir.
So rest for 30 seconds.
That's it, rest for 30 seconds. This looks nice. Yeah.
Now we've stopped for that pause.
Right.
Are we getting back into second wind again? Is that?
Oh, already, because
Do you
normally people, well, there's never been a study on it, but my experience, 20 minutes, you're safe.
Right.
30 minutes, you're in danger of losing it.
Right.
45 minutes, you've definitely lost it.
Right.
So we shouldn't have lost it in the time
No,
we've been
of course.
there. But of course, remember also that for the last half hour, we've basically been going downhill. So when you hit an uphill,
Yeah.
those
It's
muscles
different.
aren't in second wind,
Right.
you know. A lot of people who want to come on the course get really nervous. How have you felt and how are you feeling today?
I felt really nervous. I don't know why. I can't put my finger on why.
Right.
I suppose meeting new people, but also you always have a fear, don't you, of walking with other people other than close family and really close friends that understand. So you avoid walking, even, you know, like hen nights and things like that.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm frightened of being left behind and I don't want
Right.
to slow people down. So yeah, I was nervous, but today I've surprised myself because I weren't confident that I'd be able to sort of keep up with everybody. I'll definitely be all right to the next point and probably beyond. So
Because we've all got McArdles. We all know exactly what it's like, you know,
still
able.
kind of think, well, you know, they're doing all that walking and they've done it all those years, and like yourself walking across Wales, and you know, I'm never going to be able to keep up. But it's the pace, isn't it, that we're going at.
Andy, who is pretty fit as McArdle people go, he said he nearly turned back, didn't he, the first time he came.
Yes.
So even someone who's fairly able still is very reticent the first time.
He said that, you know, he nearly turned back because he suddenly thought, hold on, I don't like hills. I don't do hills. What am I doing walking in Wales? And then towards the end of the trip, they were all adding extra hills for fun. Yeah, they knew that, yeah, okay, it's, you know, it's a bit of a problem to get going and you got to take your time and you're not going to run up like everybody else, but you can do it and really enjoy it. We have to think about techniques of not running out of energy on the hill. Number one would be simply to slow down, which makes a lot of sense, but somehow you want to keep your pace going. Another is to zigzag. So by zigzagging across the track, we can reduce the effective slope, but maintain whatever pace we like. So in terms of the speed of the pace and the length of our pace, we can keep going as we want to, but just adjust the amount of effort by increasing or reducing the angle on which we're zigzagging. When we are using the walking poles, it really is a major help to give a bit of a workout to the upper body. Obviously we're using the muscles in our legs, all sorts of muscles on different angles of terrain, but we don't normally use our upper body, and so McArdle's people tend to have some muscle wasting in their upper body just through lack of use. And to be using the poles means we can get our upper body muscles used and into second wind and be exercising in second wind, and that's really beneficial for us. Who's got the bottle of champagne? I want celebrate Nicola's first Welsh mountain. Yay!
Andrew's the hero. I should have had the nerve to take a couple of pictures near the edge there. Just mad. I don't think you get the same effect on camera anyway. You've got to be there to appreciate it.
The big difference here is that we can actually walk in an environment where everybody is so understanding and knows exactly how you feel. It gives us the possibility to go at our own pace. Also, Andrew has certain guidelines and certain rules of the road that are really helpful to follow. We're supposed to have the same pace as the slowest in the group, not go ahead too far and leave the others behind, just watch out for each other.
The subject nearly always does rotate around McArdle. Lots of people who've come on the course maybe have never met another person with McArdle, so there's lots of talking going on, a lot of exchanges of ideas. And then when supper's ready, it's just like a normal big group of people eating a meal together. It's like a big happy family.
Cheers to Nicola's first summit.
Yeah, Nicola's first summit.
And here's to a successful descent of Snowdon tomorrow.
Yes.
When I was preparing to go up Snowdon last year, I was very nervous, even though I had been walking with the group that was going to go up for at least 3 or 4 other walking trips. So I knew that I could walk with them and keep up with them, but I also knew that it was challenging. As we started, I kind of felt the butterflies, but as we started walking a little more, I even came to the challenging parts, and people would give me a hand or tell me I could do it. I definitely had a stronger self-confidence as far as what I could do physically.
Where are we going?
I think we will go straight on.
I felt like I knew more about how far I could push myself before I had to stop, because I feel like there's a level of pushing yourself you can get to that I like to explore, because I want to kind of achieve as much physically as I can do without hurting myself. And I feel like that's something this course and the walk up Snowdon and down Snowdon helped me figure out. And that was probably one of the best experiences of my life.
I don't know why I'm smiling.
Relief.
It does make it hard for people to understand. You know, that people will be reading Facebook and so on to see that we're climbing mountains or walking 10 miles. And then think, well, hold on, you know, so what's wrong with you? I thought you could, you know, had problems with your muscles. It's a strange thing for people to be able to grasp.
It's such a relief to walk with people with McArdles, because you feel so much more normal, and I really enjoy walking. But when I walk with people without McArdles, a lot of times it's stressful. That being said, with the information that you have on the website, I feel like I've shared that with people that I've met that I like to take walks with. And it really helps them to know better about how they can handle situations and encourage me, not to say like, you know, you don't walk because you have McArdles, but would you like to take a walk, because I know it's helpful to you.
It's a really good idea to tell friends and colleagues about your McArdles, because if you're not upfront about it, circumstances are going to come up where you're going to hurt yourself. Most McArdles people hate hills. But actually, if we can encourage them and show them how, they find they can do hills once they've learnt the techniques. Come and give it a try, and as you say, in a supportive environment where everybody understands, and then we can help them through and show them what's possible.
And I have a lot of fun doing it. Even at home, we can just go out for short walks. If we do that every day, then it's really helpful. And I think that's something that we can take away. I'll definitely be coming back next year.
I can't say enough good things about it. And my wish is to have anyone who has McArdle's to be able to experience the same thing as I have been able to.